Deliverance 2, looking at the arms and armour. I'm going to stop right there. So I'm really impressed that they have people standing in what looks like a guard position. So in fencing or any martial arts, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at HEMA, so historical European martial arts, which is what I do, or whether you're looking at Japanese, Korean, Chinese, whatever. Usually you hold weapons, or indeed if you don't have a weapon, you tend to have certain stances and positions that you fight from. So I like the fact that they do have thought out and specific guard positions shown, and then that first blow that comes in, he does a pretty conventional parry, as we'd call it, on an inside guard or cart, if you want to use sort of 19th century fencing terms. You can see that they consulted with people who know about historical combat, and I know that the team that work on Kingdom Come have absolutely consulted HEMA experts on this. Right. Okay, I really like the detail there and the use of the left hand. So, you know what? I've got a medieval sword here, as you do. So one of the things that I think not everybody realizes is when we're using swords, especially if you're just using a single sword by itself, we'll often use the spare hand. So it's great to see that you can use it for grabbing the other person's hand or arm, manipulating their body, even punching them. I wasn't too happy about that cut though, and there's a reason here. Now we're going to talk about the armor. So the guy is dressed in kind of late 14th century style armor, as far as I can see, which is a bassinet helmet with an attached aventail, it's called. So that chainmail around the neck, that's called an aventail. Now, you wouldn't be able to cut through that. You could stab through it, but you wouldn't be able to cut through it. So I'm not that happy about the cutting move specifically shown against the mail because it wouldn't go through it. Although I like his guard position, it's kind of weirdly wide. There is a guard in the Italian systems that'd be called posto di finestra, which means the window guard, and usually it's held closer to the head. The problem with holding the weapon wide is it increases your reaction time. Say someone attacks to this side of my head, it means that I've got to move the sword further to get it over there. So to be honest, this actually isn't technical stuff. As soon as you get people sparring and fencing and someone's actually trying to hit them, you'll notice that a wide position like this very quickly becomes a narrow position like this because they're trying to move as quickly as they can to either attack the opponent or defend themselves. But for gameplay purposes, I can kind of understand why maybe that makes it clearer to see. Okay, so two things happened there in quick succession, which I really, really like. First of all, a pommel to the face. A lot of people fixate on the blade, but they forget the fact that everything here is a weapon and everything on the rest of your body is a weapon as well. So you can punch, you can kick, you can wrestle, you can throw. Hitting someone with a pommel, which is where we get the expression to pummel someone, is far more effective than punching them with your fist, although this guy's got gauntlets on, so that would make it more effective. But a pommel is, it's not sharp, it's not pointy, but it's roughly equivalent to the hammer in your shed. Not going to kill you, usually, but it will open a person up for that follow-up thrust. And I really like the detail that it was a thrust as a finishing blow. In this period, 14th, 15th century, in armour, thrusts are king, because thrusts can go in gaps between armour, or indeed against chainmail or mail, they can actually go through the armour. The fact that it's thrust through is really good and realistic and historical. You wouldn't be able to cut through it, but you could thrust through it. And that's what happens here, which is great. This is an interesting fight because it's asymmetrical. We're not armed the same way. So we've got our opponent has what we call an arming sword. It's called that because it's the sword that you arm with, which means get dressed, essentially, when you put on your armour. We, the players, are using a flanged mace. Called that because it has flanges around here which are designed to concentrate the energy but also bite into armour that we're hitting. And we've got a shield. Now, I have to say, if a person's got a large shield and the other person doesn't, they've got a massive advantage. So on paper, the person with any kind of hand weapon, even if it was just a hammer with a shield, will have an advantage over someone who's just got a single sword because the shield is such a game changer. It's why people carried them for centuries and millennia. So although I really like, the guard positions and the way that they're moving, does look like it's been slowed down, and I would kind of like it to be dialed up. At the moment, it looks a little bit like slow motion taking turns. I like what they're doing, I just don't quite like the speed they're doing it at. Right, I like that more, that quick flurry. So that looks more like fighting speed to me with those flurry of attacks from the mace. I also like the variety, and I like the fact they have the thrust in there, because although you might go, oh, well, the mace doesn't have a point, so you can't thrust with it, but you can thrust with anything. You can thrust with a walking stick if you like. So a thrust like this into someone's face, because it's an open-faced helmet, is going to be very effective. More effective than a punch. Smashing someone in the face with the point then opens them up to a hit somewhere else. And I really like they have that hit to the back of the leg. I wonder if they got the idea for that from talking to Bohurt or full contact armored fighters, because this hit to the back of the leg is quite favored in armored fighting because it's where you don't have very much armor. So just looking out at that scene, it's beautifully, beautifully done. We can see an encampment, we can see baggage trains, wagons. I also love the fact that we can see the liberal use of which are large rectangular shields. Essentially a large shield which you can completely hide behind. They're a bit like a door. They've got all of the key elements of Holy Roman warfare visible in here. Baggage train, the encampment, obviously the soldiers, but the large pavises at the front for the soldiers to advance behind. In terms of how they're advancing,
Ma kezdődik, hölgyek, urak, a Steam Next Fest, viszont március 3-áig talán. Majd a napokban szerintem ránézünk a demókra is, és le fogják lőni szervereit a Kart Ridernek, viszont úgyhogy arra is ránézünk most szerintem.
You want to cover that 200 yards in a fairly rapid, not running, because you want to be behind your pavises and you want to be coordinated. I don't think
a Dungeons and Dragonsnek meg ma lőtték le a szervereit, úgyhogy ezt már nem fogom tudni online tolni. Megvettem, hogy toljam online, de akkor ezt offline fogom tudni.
So one other thing that's missing here is why aren't they shooting back? So generally, if you're attacking a fortification or a ship, one of the priorities is to try and clear enemy defenders. You know, it's covering fire to clear the defenders from the walls if you can, or at least get them to get their heads down. An immediate way that the attackers could reduce their casualty rates is to be shooting back.
Now I'll show you.
There's something that will never get old about seeing a rock.
Na, hajrá, Roland, hajrá.
Obviously not in real life, you know, but in an animated and fun, recreational way. But, you know, the fact that this person had a bassinet, this type of helmet on with an aventail, if a large rock hits you on the head, that's still a lot of energy hitting you in the head. So, you know, it wouldn't cave in their skull, but it very likely might knock them out or, you know, concuss them or damage them.
27-én lövik le a szervereit, úgyhogy azt még tudom csapatni.
So I've got to be honest, so far,
az X-Defiant-ot meg azt hiszem júniusban talán, vagy májusban. Multiversus is. Dungeons and Dragons-ra amúgy se lett volna emberke, hogy toljam valaki a kóban, úgyhogy ezt meg egyedül végtelen sztoriban.
I like the fact that there's the focus on trying to shoot the guys with the ladders. The game changer will be, number one, if the gate gets chopped in, so that's what the rocks were for, and number two, if those ladders come up against the wall, you've suddenly got loads of people coming up over the wall. And actually, this again, I think
most egyébként egy fegyverszakértő, középkori fegyverszakértő elemzi a Kingdom Come második részének működését.
Was with a ladder. You don't need high tech, you don't need trebuchets and catapults and Greek fire, and all you need is some ladders. If you have enough people with enough ladders that are long enough to reach to the top of the castle walls, well, then they're going to be in your castle. So I love the fact that ladders are prominent here. Maybe the Pavis guys should be standing in front of the guys with the ladders. You know, it's what I'd do. Stick a shield guy in front of that guy. But anyway, it's the right idea to try and shoot the people with the ladders. So I just want to comment on this kind of slow-mo movement. I'm really surprised by how slow the bots essentially move. They walk slowly, they swing their swords slowly, they climb up ladders slowly. I think it all needs to be sped up a little bit. They just look very, very sluggish and slow-mo in all of their movements, which I find a little
elvileg csak új játékokat jelentenek be, Roland, meg megjelenési dátumokat már meglévőkhöz, gondolom fizikális kiadásokat. De Mouse Searching nevezetű játéknak a fizikális kiadását szerintem most fogják bejelenteni, mikor jelentetni. Meg a Crow Country-nak is.
You know, I just love the fact that they have put guns in this game.
De elvileg sok játékot tudnak bejelenteni. Az általában mindig ilyen kisebb show szokott lenni, de jól tudom, azért nagyobb játékot is beszoktak játszani. A NieR konferenciára áprilisban nagyon kíváncsi leszek Roland, hogy vajon a Yoko Taro, az a neve annak? Yoko Taro, ugye? Ja, Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro bejelente új. Olyan szinten beegyektekedő, hogy egy urat szólja.
I would put this at about 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10. I think it's pretty good. They don't really, in my view, show all of the steps.
Ja, igen.
They're simplified. Now, I do understand why they do that for gameplay purposes. If it was taking you 30 seconds to load, it would probably be really, really boring. Not at all effective in this close combat situation. And that's important as well.
Vagy volt egy koncert, amin utaltak rá? No, that's nice. Mondjuk nem tudtam.
So based on what I've seen, I definitely want to play this game. It looks incredible. Clearly very, very well researched. The armor is all historically correct for the period, beginning of the 1400s essentially. The weapons are all accurately modeled. Even the guard positions, not always, but most of the guard positions are quite good. They're sort of historically inspired, even if they're not perfect, and I would tweak them a bit. I guess the question is about the gameplay, and the fighting does look a bit slow mode to me, and I don't really understand why that would be the case. There are other games in this genre, Analog, for example, where...
Mostanság nagyon azzal van teli minden nekem, hogy lehet lesz. Vagy az IT remake, ez mondjuk nagy lenne. Ez csak a PSP-s epizódban játszom, PS1-eseken, nem egyébként. Vagy egy minimálisat játszom, de a PSP-eseken. PSP-st imádtam. Ez jó lenne. Ez a... Minek nevezik ezt? Body Swap memória, vagy Body Steal mechanika, ez baromi ötletes volt abban a játékban. Gyerek.
Well, look what's back again, the month of March, right on schedule, because that's just how calendars work. And look what it brought along for the ride, a bunch of new video games. Who could have anticipated this? Well, we did, and here are March 2025's biggest game releases. Before we get into it, just the usual caveat that we try to make these videos as comprehensive and informative and accurate as possible, but release dates do change and we have been known to make mistakes. Case in point, last month I got all riled up about PGA Tour 2K25's Legend Edition having the ludicrous price of $199.99, but that was a typo that nobody caught.
The price is wrong.
It's in fact priced at $119.99, so still expensive, but less outlandishly so. So apologies for screwing that up, and for anything else I've ever screwed up, or ever will screw up in the future.
Az emberek mit nem utálnak napságról. Voltam bent egy streamernél, direkt nem mondom, hogy kinél meg, hogy milyen nemzetiségűnél. Lényeg, hogy nyomták a Roland, ezt neked mondom. Gothic remake-et, bocsánat, demóját. Elkezdik pikázni a játékot, hogy üres a világa a játékot. Leírtam a chatre, hogy hát igen, mivel hát, hogy bugos, ugye. Igen, mert mondom, ez az alfa build a játékot. Mondom, ez még amikor elkezdik fejleszteni a játékot, ez az a build, és akkor elkezdik mondani, hát de hogy lehet, hogy a Steam Next Fest-re kihozza. Gondolom, nem kötelességből hozták ki hamarabb, na mindegy. Az emberek semminek nem olvasnak utána, és mindent fikáznak.
September, and that date also sees its Immortal Pillars expansion dropping on all those platforms I just mentioned. If you'd like to immortalize some stuff in a building with pillars out front, you can do exactly that in 2 Point Museum, the latest cartoony management sim from the folks behind 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus, except this time, you probably guessed, we're curating a museum of very silly exhibits. That's on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Still that day is Everhood 2, the follow-up to the 2021 ARPG that paired bizarre visuals with a novel musical approach to combat. That's on Switch and PC. If you prefer more conventional RPG, on March 6th, you can play Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars, which may sound like a straightforward remaster of the beloved PS1 classics with some fancy buzzwords slapped on for fun, but it is in fact a remaster of the PSP port of said PS1 classics, and you can now play it on all of the modern platforms to your heart's content. March 6th is a big day for new games too. Split Fiction is the latest from Hazelight Studios, the team that gave us A Way Out and It Takes Two. Once again, this is played exclusively
Köszönöm szépen, Ádám.
One sci-fi, one fantasy, who are sucked into a simulation and forced to work together to escape. I guess you could say It Takes Two to find A Way Out. That's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. Also coming to those platforms is Fragpunk, which will have a team of 5 working cooperatively to shoot the members of a different team, also comprised of 5 players.
Raksa Ádám, most fog kezdődni egy 11 perc, nem tudom beszélni. 11 perc múlva konferencia. ID Xbox konferencia, aztán azt fogjuk nézni. Új játékot jelentenek be, mutogatnak. Minden Raksa egyébként. Sikerült már meggyógyulnod, Ádám. If you prefer a game that involves bizarre cranial maladies of this sort, but Ádám, a napokban egyébként, hogyha leszel, akkor ránézhetünk együtt a portira. So you'll be treating patients for ordinary old-timey ailments and also helping them cope with the lasting effects of encounters. Ennek a játéknak a fejlesztőivel is lesz majd Devil Life. If you think dragons suck and you want to beat the crap out of them, you can go do that in Dragonkin, the banished good-old-fashioned action RPG set in a fantasy realm that is all messed up for dragon-related reasons. That hits early access on PC March 6th with new-gen console versions to follow on March 7th, if you're suffering from a bad case of WrestleMania and you've got enough money in the bank, you can beat the clock and play WWE 2K25 a whole week early by snagging the Bloodline or Deadman editions. Otherwise, the standard edition is out March 14th. That's on everything but Switch. If you'd like to play a video game that has considerably less sweaty people jumping on each other, March 7th also sees the release of Sugardew Island, your cozy farm shop. This looks like Stardew Valley by way of Animal Crossing, and you'll toil away in the fields growing cartoon fruits and vegetables to sell to the magical forest folk, befriending some whimsical characters along the way. And also, it has romance options, so hey, maybe it does involve sweaty people jumping on each other. Anyway, that's on Switch, both PlayStations, Xbox Series, and PC. On March 10th, Rise of the Ronin hits PC following a year of console exclusivity on PS5. I feel like this one came and went without much commotion, but it's a totally decent open-world samurai game, so if you can't wait 10 whole days for Assassin's Creed Shadows, or however many months for Ghost of Yotei, that's an option now too. If drinking a hot cup of matcha is more appealing to you than wielding a katana, how about a nice relaxing game about a former arena fighter retiring to manage a tea shop? Well, that's what Wanderstop looks like, but there's more going on here. It's from some of the creators of the Stanley Parable and Gone Home, and in addition to being a cozy game about making tea, it's also a commentary on burnout, like the psychological kind, not the racing game. Check out the trailer for Wanderstop. It looks like it might go places. That's on PS5 and PC on the 11th. On March 13th, Dungeons of Hinterberg meanders its way onto PS4 and PS5 following its Xbox and PC launch last summer. This is also kind of a commentary on burnout, but rather than quitting an exciting violent job to do business stuff, it's about quitting a business job to go do exciting violent stuff, namely climbing around in the Alps slaying monsters instead of climbing the corporate ladder. De mitől egyébként? Lehet tudni. Az mondjuk nagyon korán, basszus. Azt a kicsa. Jobbulást, ez nagyon komolyan hangzik, hallod. Nagyon komoly betegségnek hangzik. Mitől lehet, azt lehet tudni? Valami olyanokat étkeztél, vagy genetikailag, vagy... De mitől lehet, Ádám, azt lehet tudni? Hogy mondták meg?
Exist. And yet, this is clearly a very ancient artifact.
Olyan kaja, vagy gyógyszer, vagy betegség.
Definitive Edition makes its way to Switch. This was originally released on the Wii U in 2015, and considering the Switch sold 11 times as many.
Tudják egyébként, hogy hogyan gyógyítsák? Tehát, hogy mondtak, hogy tudnak gyógyítani? Rendben lesz minden. Remélem azért. Domasz ilyeneket is. Szép estét. Sorry egyébként, hogy rekettes hangom, csak valamiért nagyon elment hangom, nem tudom. Próbálok inni folyamatosan folyamatosan vizedbe. Ennek örülök, Ádám. Csak el van benne segítség, Ádám, nyugodtan szólj egyébként. Ezekből az Atelier játékokból mennyi van már? Azt tényleg szóljál, Ádám, hogyha bármi kell.
Not counting ports, remakes, or side stories, new verbosely entitled installments in the Atelier series have been released basically every year since it debuted way back in 1997. This is pretty impressive considering how impenetrable it seems to newcomers. I mean, Atelier, the name of the series, is an esoteric word for workshop that I'm not sure how to pronounce, and I had to look up to figure out what it means. So part of me is like, maybe they should workshop that title, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Clearly they're doing something right, because this series has been going for almost 3 decades with steady installments. Outside of sports games, I can't think of too many franchises that have managed to steadily churn out new games for this long without completely derailing, rebooting, becoming massively popular, or some combination thereof. So if we have any Atelier fans watching, I'm really curious, where do you start? How do you get into it? What's the big deal? Am I pronouncing it right?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Anyway, if you'd like a video game series that's a little more self-explanatory about where it takes place and what you're doing there, Killing Floor 3
Killing Floor is jó lesz egyébként. Szól lenne hatalmatolni, hogy 8-an lehet? Mennyi? 6-8? Akkor elszólták az Assassin's Creed Shadows, de nekem kifejezetten tetszik. Manapság az emberek mindent leszólnak. Pont erről beszélgettünk a stream elején, sajnos. Meglátnak 5 percet a játékból, aztán már osozzák, szarozzák, úgyhogy egy percet nem játszottak. Nem tudok ezzel mit csinálni.
On March 26, you can burn rubber and leave skin marks all over the place in JDM, Japanese Drift Master, an open-world racer with hyper-realistic gameplay, but a story that unfolds that clearly taken some cues from Initial D. You can install that on your D drive on your PC. On the 27th, Atomfall hits everything but Switch, which has some obvious Fallout DNA, but probably cribs a bit from Stalker as well, as it incorporates some survival elements and is based loosely on a real nuclear disaster rather than a fictional nuclear war. Atomfall takes place in an alternate timeline where the 1957 wind-scale fire went a whole lot worse, leaving the United Kingdom thoroughly irradiated and also populated with some creepy Wicker Man cultists and Bioshock-looking robots, which you will help deal with. Thank goodness you're here. If you'd rather deal with some high-value elusive targets or just make people slip on banana peels in immersive VR, Hitman World of Assassination comes to PlayStation VR 2 that day as well, and you can play or replay the entirety of IO Interactive's utterly brilliant and also completely slapstick assassination sim completely from Agent 47's perspective. This was released for PSVR 1 already, and it's made its way to other VR headsets since then with a not-so-great reception, but hopefully some extra time will allow this version to be fine-tuned. And hey, even if it's one of the worst ways to play a great game, it's still something new for PSVR 2 owners, and also you can
jó, Petya, köszönöm szépen a Tier 3-as 53-at, ciao neked is. Nagyon szépen köszönöm. Nagyon szépen köszönöm. Ciao neked is. Hogy ment a stream? Hölgyek, urak, hogyha nem tettétek volna meg egyébként, csapassatok Petyának is egy követést, és szokott nem streamel. Hogy ment a streamerino? Tényleg köszi, Petya. Köszönöm szépen.
Bubble Ghost is about a ghost who has a bubble, and Bubble Ghost Remake is a remake of that game, which is coming to Nintendo Switch. I hope that clears things up. And finally, on the 27th, the first Berserker Kazan is a single-player action RPG Souls-like set in the universe of the massively popular Dungeon & Fighter series. And man, it is so nice to see a live-service multiplayer game reinvented as a cool-looking single-player game rather than the other way around. And now I want to see Maple's story turned into a horrifying Souls-like. The first Berserker is coming to Xbox Series, PS5, and PC. And finally, on March 28th,
egyébként az angolozást folytathatjuk, Petya, nem felejtettem el, csak most nálam nagyon sok minden jött közben. Nem felejtettem el, nehogy azt hidd. A videóvágásokat sem, csak volt letöltés, meg egyebek. Elég sok időt veszel. Azt én is várom, Roland, azt én is várom. Ez jónak tűnik.
Okay, those are March 2025's biggest games. If you have trouble keeping track of all of these
ha gondolod, átküldöm, hogy én milyen készkrémet használok, Petya. Szólj rám, írj rám, kérlek, most akkor átküldöm neked a fényképét, hogy milyen készkrémet használok. Azt, hogyha használod este, és nem mosod le, hanem estére bekened magadnak lefekvés előtt. Most már én is rászántam magam, hogy beszoktam kenni. Sokkal jobb lesz.
Real quick before we go, I wanted to plug another video I was in last last month that involved me flying to the UK, going to an actual castle, interviewing medieval experts about how historically authentic Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is, and then getting hit on the head with stuff while wearing a full suit of armor. It is one of my favorite videos I've ever
De feelinges lehet elmenni ilyen kastélyokba lovagi szakértőkhöz, fegyverszakértőkhöz. Ezt adom. Ezt kipróbálnám egyébként.
Come together each and every month. A lot of work goes into it, even when we screw up sometimes. So thank you to everybody who tunes in every month and watches. Sound off in the comments below with what you're playing this month, or anything we might have forgotten, or just to say hi, whatever. I'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Egyébként, hogyha nem lenne korrupt,
Still that day is Bubble
hogy
Ghost.
mondjam. Nem akarok pálcát törni senki felett, ne értsétek félre, de hogyha nem lenne korrupt egyik ilyen videójátékos újságírós oldal, semmit az IGN se egyébként. Én régebben simán jelentkeztem volna az IGN-hez, de így elnézve egyébként tök jó ezeket nézni, hogy tényleg tökre lelkesedéssel beszélnek így a játék megjelenésekről, csak amikor tesztelik őket, akkor meg mindent szana szétfikáznak, meg kamu híreket posztolnak a fejlesztőkről, szóval, ja. Ilyenkor ezeknél a konferenciáknál az látszik, hogy mennyire lelkesen beszélnek a játékról, gondolom azért meg vannak fizetve az Xbox-szál, és pontosabban a Microsoft által, meg a különböző cégek által, de ja. Nincs az a baj, ha őszinték, félreértés ne essék. Hogy nyilván az objektivitás az fontos ezekben a szakmákban, csak hogy igen, na mindegy. És csak egy ilyen kitekintő volt, ez egy ilyen gondolat kitekintő. De ez van. Na, kezdődik a konferencia. Pénz irányít mindenhol. Hát sajnos. Én csak az a baj, hogy ez is cseszi tönkre az egész világot manapság, és azt látjuk. Mindegy. Nem megyek ebbe bele, nem rontom el a saját kemet.
We'll be getting a look at upcoming projects from Don't Nod, NeoWiz, and Raccoon Logic. Plus, new looks at what's coming to hit games like Balatro. IGN FanFest Day 1.
Balatrót azóta is nagyon nyomják egyébként. Azt írják, hogy azt tervezem megvenni. Ja, küldtem neked, hogy melyiket, akkor jó. Most a maszkot rendeltem, amiben van Bluetooth fejhallgató, felszerelő, nagyon zavar már, hogy öcsém PC-n egyik fenton is telefonozik, ki nem tudok levenni, aztán már rászántam magam, hogy megy vagy. Ó, és ez mit tud?
Fired by Alta Interglobal and
Ez
abandoned
mit
on
tud,
the
Petya?
far edges of space with no gear, no job, and no plan. But don't panic. While they may have tossed you aside like so much
Ez mi ez a játék? Tudom, ezt egyszer már mutatták. Ilyen nagyon ilyen debil lények ellen kell menni ilyen ismeretlen bolygókon. Ó, tudom, csak nem teszem a neve. Tudom, melyik játék ez. Tudom. És ilyen valós fizika alapú mechanikák vannak benne, és olyan cuki, meg nagyon debil lények. Tudom, melyik ez játék. Az mondjuk menő, Petya.
Use conductive pharaoh goo to shock and open organic doors, or spread it on the ground to slow down a speedy foe. Or lay down a goo fuse. Then after your buddy has upgraded that pacifier pistol with a charged shot, light them all up.
Jézus.
If that doesn't work, try the Mad Fork from Kindred Labs.
Ott dance-el az alsó sarokban egy gyerek. Ki a picsa ez a játék? Mennyibe bekerült? Még érdekes játéknak tűnik. Hopp, lelankat. Hopp, lasszózik. 7K-n az nem semmi. Then upgrade that whip so you can grapple launch yourself to new heights. Or better yet, kick a few critters into the air while you and your buddy pick them off with a brand new Griffin Spunker pacifier pistol. It's a homemade skeet shooting game. The Kindred catalog. You have the tools. You have the imagination. Skópos játék.
You have the time.
Wow.
Find it, build it, then execute it. The wackier the plan,
Survival game lenne, vagy story is?
I'll be in touch. Onward and upward.
Revenge of the Savage Planets. Ó, ez jön Xbox-ra is. Május 8, hopp. Lesz lemezesen is ezek szerint, hogy ott volt-e?
Hello and welcome to the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase right here on IGN Fan Fest. The ID at Xbox Showcase is all about games, and this year we've got exclusive reveals of brand new games you've never seen before, some great stuff coming to games you already know and love, and a bunch of awesome surprises along the way. And I'm your host, Akeem.
Ez jó lesz ez a konferencia, itt nagy játékokat is bemutathatnak ezek szerint. Jó, let's go. Rendes felpörögtem direkt. Kössétek be az öveteket, helyezzétek magatokat kényelembe, popcorn, süti, kaja elő, víz elő, ücsi elő, aztán nézzük együtt, milyen játékok jönnek idén vagy jövőre.
We'll have interviews with some of the most talented directors, actors, writers, and game makers in the world, and new looks at things like Daredevil Born Again, Mythic Quest, WWE 2K25, and so much more. And hey, if you missed any of that, don't stress it. You can easily catch up on IGN.com or IGN's YouTube page.
But for now, let's get back to the ID at Xbox Showcase with a sneak peek at some big games heading to Xbox in the not-so-distant future. Take a look.
Na, ők is elkezdtek újra, hogy interjúkat készíteni? Hoppá. Mi a fene? Mi a fene? Beindul még a végén az IGN megint? Skyenter, gratulál alaphoz. Négy fős kópos extraction game, gondolom. Jump Ship. Early Access. Annyi Early Access-es game jön egyébként, hogy az valami hihetetlen. De egyébként... Nem. Mindig azt szoktam mondani, hogy az ilyen story meg kooperatív alapú gémekben nem teljesen értem az Early Access lényegét, na mindegy. Inkább legyen egy demo és egy teljes játék, mint sem az Early Access, mert... Ez csak lehet, hogy én így vagyok vele, de... Csak én vagyok így vele. Metroidvania? Tizenegyes ciklus. Érdekesek a karakterdizájnok egyébként. Ilyen szektaszerű valami. Jól értelmezem, hogy folyamatosan újjáéled a karakter? Aha, egy loop. Ja. Nem volt megjelenés dátum. Érdekes. Coming soon. Ugye ezek mind Game Pass-es játékok. De gondolom ezek jönnek PS-re is.
Rise and shine, little merchant. Wake up. Wake up, Will.
Most már kiírják, hogy Captured on PC.
Your next journey unfolds.
Oh.
A new place to call home. Uncharted lands brimming with peril.
És tényleg mi ezek is artstyle-on egyébként a játéknak? Mint a Ni no Kuni gémeknek, meg a... Mi az, aki animék?
Who knows what tomorrow holds?
Ó, akkor jól gondoltam, hogy ez egy második része egy létező szériának. Jobb, hogyha már még az étrendememet is meg kell változtatnom, hogy minimalizáljam az ekcímámat, mert most jelenleg káosz van, I see. Gondolom sok allergént vissza ebben, nem? Nekem is így szokott lenni egyébként. Hol a Blueprints, ezt nagyon várom ezt a játékot. Az elvég jön PS Plus extra egyébként. Az arról szól ez a játék, hogy vannak szobák, szinte végtelen szoba, és mindig te döntöd el, hogy melyik szobában nyitsz egy ajtót. Ilyen hatalmas kastélyban. És ha megoldasz egy rejtvényt az adott szobában, akkor tovább mehetsz egy másik szobába. És akkor azt hiszem, nem tudom hány szobát kell felfedezned, hogy a végső konklúziót leszűrt, hogy mi a titok a kastélyban. Nagyon érdekesnek tűnik ez a játék. Nagyon kíváncsi vagyok, hogy működni fog-e az elképzelés. Mert ugye itt nem csak egy puzzle game-et kapunk, hanem elvileg egy nagyon jó sztorit is. Ez Gamescom-on ezt a játékot láttam, és tényleg nagyon jónak tűnt. A Kék Herceg az a cím a játéknak. Blueprints. Aha, jól is mondtam. Április 10. Ez PS Plus-ban is ingyenes lesz egyébként.
You just gotta look at Jumpship, Echo Weaver, Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, and Blueprints. You can sign up for the Jumpship beta today at jumpshipgame.com. And Blueprints, the gorgeous puzzle game, will be arriving day 1 on Xbox Game Pass. Now, believe it or not, we're only just getting started here. Coming up, 4 more games we can't wait to show you.
That's right, the 2025 Idea Xbox Showcase has tons more game reveals and surprises in store right here on IGN FanFest. But first, we need to take a quick break. Stick around.
Ezekben a nem tudok beszélni, showcase-ekben egyet nem szeretek, hogy annyi reklámmal tűzdelik tele, meg annyi felesleges dumál. Értem, hogy ebből kapnak pénzt, de nem tudom. Az a baj, hogy egyre inkább idősödöm. Pont emiatt hagytam ott a televíziózást, televízióműsorok nézését, érted, mert telébaszták reklámokkal, és akkor most a videójáték esetében is ezt csinálják. Mert hamarosan eljutunk oda is, érted, hogy fogják azt a játékokban magukba vannak reklámok. Lehetséges. Legkövé hónapban frissítenem kell a PS Plus-omat, na. Hajrá. Miért? Extrát? Vagy prémiumot szoktál? De ezek az appok egyébként számomra, nem tudom, ebből látszik, hogy annyira old school vagyok, hogyha telefonhasználatról van szó. Én nevetségesnek tartom azt, hogy valaki használja egy ilyen applikációt, amit az előbb mutattak, hogy beütöd a videójátékot, kiadják neked a játékbeli térképet, és akkor telefonon még külön teszel pontokat, hogy hol voltál a térképen a játékban, meg hol nem. Hát könyörgöm, ott az agyat, hogy megjegyeznem. Tehát, hogy ilyen franc, tehát, hogy basszus. Nem tudom, engem tönkre kizökkenten az, hogy most így még egy telefonomat ott nyomkodjam, és akkor azon a térképet nézem, az sok a játék. És értem. Annyira elbutítják az embereket ezekkel az applikációkkal, hogy ez a miért. Komolyan mondom, már analfabéták lesznek hamarosan az emberek, minden telefon megmondta érted. Holnap virslit kell reggeliznem, mert az iPhone 18 megmondta. Bazzeg, mi? Nem már. És kacagti, ne legyetek ilyenek, jó? Létsz. Jesus.
Hey, welcome back to ID at Xbox right here on IGN FanFest. Now up next, we have 4 more games
gyerekek, öregszem.
to show you, starting with...
Bár nem, 19 évesen is ilyen voltam. Tudod, hogy lápét is sem van, anyud megmondta, hogy ki kell mind a szemet, azaz. Ezt is láthattuk már, ezt a Gamescót, ez a... Nem tudom mi a cím ennek se, de tudom, hogy túrázol, és akkor viszed magaddal a kis lakókocsit, gyűjtögetsz a természetben, természet lágyölén, mindenféle dolgokat. Keresel fotózva. feldíszíted a kis utazó kecódat. Vagy no joke, egyszer kipróbálnám, hogy milyen egyébként ilyen lakókocsival utazni ugye a világon. Bár amilyen rosszul szoktam lenni autókban, utazás közben, amilyen hányingerem van, meg amennyire hányingerem, meg szédülök, nem nekem való lenne, de kipróbálásként fajn lenne utazni ilyen erdős, hegyes területeken, biztos feelingesen. Bár nyilván azért a crafting nem ennyire egyszerű lenne, tehát hogy nem lenne ennyire egyszerű felcraftolni egy ilyen házat a kocsidnak a tetejére. Meg gondolom a lefestés se így működik, hogy fogod aztán rásprézel kettőt, azt a zöld kocsiból kék lesz meg ilyen. Hoppá, ez micsoda? Ó, ez mi? Ez mi? De jó a lane design egyébként, de ötletes. Wow! Ó, egy ilyen állatidomár. De jó. De jó. Ez micsoda? De jó. Ez nagyon tetszik az a játék, ez fixen ilyen művészi gamasz. Ó, a hurling, oké. Ez jön PS-re is, azt hiszem. Várjatok, mindjárt rákeresek. Hurling, PS-re. Az jön PS-re is, nice. Ez jön PS-re is. Honk if you are lonely. Curve Games, oké. Ez micsoda? Ilyen tetkós szimulátor. Kicsit punk rock stílű. Ez már azért maradtam csöndben, mert amilyen játékot bemutatgatnak, azoknak a fejlesztőire ráírok, hogy kérek interjú. Amik olyanok, hogy még nem írtam rá. Jó pár ráírtam, de... Can't let kids wander alone without a grown-up. Build your team. Ez egy körökre osztott RPG lesz, fogadjunk. Gondoltam. Ja nem? Nem körökre osztott RPG, akkor ez lesz mégis. Érdekes. Wow. De gondolom boss fightok. Hogy előhúzta a csavar kulcsot, igen. Inkább ez egy roguelike game, nem? Sem, hogyha kóp is lenne benne? Vagy ezek csak ilyen kompanyanok? Ilyen segítők? Társak? Companion? Nem tudom eldönteni, hogy ezek kóp társak, vagy pedig mondjuk playereket jelöl. Érdekes. The Lonesome Guild. The Lonesome Guild. Okay. Erre is rákeresünk.
You just saw Outbound, Hurdling, Waxheads, and the Lonesome Guild, all part of the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase.
Now let's get back to the video game, shall we? Now, up next, we have a few things you've never seen before and some great content coming to games you probably already love.
But hey, enough teasing from us. Let's roll it.
Ó, Buckshot Roulette. Kiadják boxra. Ja nem, PvP-t tesznek bele. Ez már volt eddig is benne, nem? Hogy az mod volt? Ja nem, Xbox-ra is jön, I see. Hotel Barcelona. Oh. Wow.
How painfully human.
Azt a mindenit. Várjatok már.
Taste the chains of despair. I'll burn you to the bone.
Komoly.
Should we just put some cards on the table?
Nice run.
You know what they say. The house always wins.
Looks like the joke's on us.
Minden játékból tesznek egy kártyát a Balatróba? A Balatrót most már tényleg ki kell rendesen játszanom. Ki kell vinnem ezt a Balatrót.
You know, just when I thought I couldn't possibly be more hooked on Balatro, they drop a collaboration I'm already obsessed with. That one was huge, but this next world premiere is gonna rock your world. Check it out.
Majd én is van. Már magát a gémet újra, de a legnehezebben biztos nem még. Majd egyszer. Hopp, ez mi?
Tonight on Behind the Curtain, we dive deep into one of the 90s most controversial bands.
It was beyond our wildest dreams.
Their music defined a generation.
Zseniális.
What can I say, man? Artistic genius is a curse.
The man behind this meteoric rise, their notorious manager.
He drove from out of town to meet us. We were waiting at this bar.
We'll be paying this guy, so I want to know. What exactly will you do for us?
Plain and simple. I'll make you rich. You know why I'm here, lad? I'm here to you over.
Make me stray, Pharaoh.
Filthy rich, drowning in women, piss through it all.
Oh my God, Vernon!
I know where this road leads, and it ain't nowhere pretty.
Looking for trouble?
Effervescent, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll. So, I gotta ask, would you do anything differently?
What exactly will you do for us?
Oh.
Mostly, I just try to stay out of your way.
Oh. Lich Hand.
That was the world premiere and release date reveal for Rock Beast, and it looks like it absolutely rocks. You know, everybody knows that rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, and scissors beats paper, but a beast would probably just destroy all of them, let alone a rock beast.
Jeez.
You know, that's something I never had to
As
think
a
about right now, but it's actually pretty true. So thanks for that information, Al. I appreciate it. All right, well, there's tons more IGN Xbox Showcase coming up right after this quick break, so please stick around.
FanFest is presented by Mecha Break. Open beta available now on PC and Xbox with crossplay.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn.
Plus, awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
Plus, ad-free browsing on IGN.com.
Amúgy igen, Roland, ez jónak tűnt.
Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more. Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys. Wow!
Exactly.
Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
Welcome back to IGN Xbox on IGN FanFest. Up next, 3 more games guaranteed to put a smile on your face, especially if you were fond of a certain rhythm-based strategy series that involved commanding an army of little creatures to the tune of a catchy soundtrack. Sound familiar? Here's a gameplay clip from the upcoming rhythm-based roguelike Ratatan.
Ó, tényleg ennek most lesz demója újra. Ó, tényleg ez mikor lesz ennek a demója? Most, nem? De várom már ezt a játékot. Én ezt Kickstarteren támogattam, ezt a csapatot, én imádtam Patapon gémeket. Jó, ennek most lesz megint bétája. Tényleg, el is felejtettem, basszus. De várom már ezt a gémet, aztán. Most lesz bétája egyébként. Tényleg meg is nézem majd az e-mailemet egyébként, mert szerintem küldök. De jó, hogy emlékeztetett, ez showcase. Ó, boss fight. Zseniális ez a játék. Kíváncsi leszek, hogy hány unitod lehet egyébként összesen. Hogy az előző részekben, az első 3 pataponban ott rengeteg egységed lehet. Ott is limitálva volt, de szerintem 12-20 körülbelül lehet. Visszapataponom, igen. Igen.
We all keep our favorite moments close to us, somewhere safe. This box holds mine. Welcome to Widow. This is a cozy, story-driven game about my happiest memory, summer in the countryside.
Wow.
Let me show you. It's simple. Just drag each object to its place, assembling the story, piece by piece, cup to cup, cat to cat. One summer, I was sent to the countryside. You know, a place that's not marked on any map. I used to be such a city girl, always online, always busy. Spending my whole summer in a forsaken village? No thanks. But here I am, surrounded by a gang of geese, clearly thinking they're the biggest deal around here. But who had been feeding them so well? Perhaps a goose grandma who always says they're too skinny? I had to fight a sneaky goat every day from my own backpack, cheered on by the laughter of the tiny yellow goslings. And that's how the story starts. My first day in a sweet village, full of joy, friendly faces, and welcoming warmth from the locals. Lovely place. But, you know, everything changed when I met Ben.
That was Tempopo, Ratatan, and Widow. And honestly, saying those 3 very different game names in a row makes them sound like a roving band of like mischievous elves or 3 aliens in the very back of a Star Wars cantina.
You know what? You might be onto something with that one. Now, we're getting close to the finish line here today, but that doesn't mean we're out of surprises for you just yet. We've got lots more new games to show you, plus a huge update coming to one of the best games of the generation. All this and more as the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase continues after this break.
FanFest is presented by War Robots Frontiers. Pre-register now for an exclusive reward.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn.
Plus, awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
Plus, ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more.
This will come in handy.
Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys.
Wow. Exactly.
Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
Welcome back to the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase right here on IGN's FanFest. Now up next, we've got a bunch of new game trailers to show you, so hey, instead of just teasing you and making you try to guess what we're going to show you, we'll just cut to the chase and give you what you want. Take it away.
This is Pon. He's a Tanuki. This summer, by order of the Tanuki god, Pon has to restore the Great Tanuki Shrine. To do so, he needs to earn money. Pon takes on the role of the delivery Tanuki, mixing hard work with stunting around town. It's a busy summer for Pon, but even Tanuki need to rest now and then. This is Pon Summer. We hope you'll enjoy the adventure together. Tanuki, Pon Summer. Available on Xbox Game Pass. Later this month.
Cora, Beck, Tron. Every grid has its heroes. The Arc grid fractures into the glitch, but one program stands against that storm. Exo. You. A hero is nothing without their grid. Exo fights for hers, against those who would tear it apart. She must escape Core, but escape is not enough. A loop cannot be broken without a change in conditions. Break the Loop program.
That was Tanuki Pond Summer, Descenders Next, Tron Catalyst, and 33 Immortals. A little something for everyone, and that's the truth. But hey, if the truth really isn't your thing, you probably love the 2023 action game Lies of P that turned the classic story of Pinocchio into a brutal steampunk horror world full of terrifying puppet monsters.
Yeah, but you know, 2023 was so long ago, so maybe you're asking yourself, when are we gonna get to go back to the world of Lies of P and experience a whole new adventure? Well, I'm glad you asked, because we have your answer right here and right now on the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase. Take a look.
Listening to this song always reminds me of you. But now you belong to the past. Do you remember the time we all gathered to play this piece together? I never got to say farewell. I know it changed everything, but we endured. Perhaps someday, if we can cross the bounds of time, we'll meet again.
And there you have it, the exciting reveal of Lies of P Overture from the brilliantly talented team at NeoWiz. That just about wraps us up here at the 2025 ID at Xbox Showcase here on IGN. And it was a blast.
Yeah, but wait, if you want even more fun for Xbox fans, stick around, because Unlocked is our weekly Xbox podcast here at IGN, and we've got a whole post-show coming your way with special guest Guy Richards, the head of ID at Xbox.
And believe it or not, the ID at Xbox Showcase is just day one of IGN FanFest, and we've got 4 full days of fantastic stuff just for you, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, continuing each day all week long. And we'll have new looks at things like Mythic Quest, Daredevil Born Again, WWE 2K25, Alien Rogue Incursion, the new horror comedy, The Monkey, and tons more. Check out IGN.com for the full schedule and IGN's YouTube channel for anything you might have missed.
But for now, thank you all so much for watching the ID at Xbox Showcase and celebrating all these fantastic game reveals with us at IGN. It's always an honor to partner with Xbox to help bring you the future of Xbox games. We'll see you again very soon.
Welcome to Podcast Unlocked. It is IGN's weekly Xbox show. You just watched the latest ID at Xbox Showcase presented by us, IGN, but also, of course, a whole bunch of cool developers and the ID at Xbox team at Microsoft. My name is Ryan McCaffrey. Joining you, this is officially episode 681 of Podcast Unlocked. And joining me, as always, Michael Hyam. Good to see you, sir.
Hi, thanks for having me every week, because you have to have me on every week now.
That's right. It's in the contract. It's done. I signed it in blood. There's nothing I can do about it now. You can go off the rails, and I'm stuck with you. Really, that's
right.
That's what it amounts to.
Say less.
Miranda Sanchez, I know you're still not feeling great, but just thank you for being here. I know it's been a bit of a tough road for you lately.
Yeah, this is one where I'll encourage you to watch the video because I'll be doing a lot of movement, talking. I'm a bit of a frog. This is the best I could get my voice right now, so please bear with me. And I'm glad to be back, though. I missed y'all.
We missed you too, and hopefully your voice has regained its full strength here fairly soon. And then our special guest here, just next to me on the screen, is Guy Richards. He is the ID at Xbox director. Guy, thank you so much for hanging out with us here.
Hey, it's cool to be here. Big fan of the show. Been listening for years, drive to work, walking the dog, all that kind of thing. So, yeah, really excited to talk about some of the awesome games we've just seen.
Well, we've got plenty of them. I mean, I think there were 22, maybe, if I had my count correct, something like that. But I wanted to just kind of start real quick. If you could tell the audience, what does ID at Xbox director mean? Like, because I know, like, with us, we get the people that aren't in our world. When we try to explain what it is we do, they'll be like, oh, so you play video games all day. And it's like, actually, no. But with you, I actually think I might be guilty of doing what other people do to me, because as the ID at Xbox director, my guess is you play video games all day and try to figure out which ones are a good fit for the ID at Xbox program. So in all seriousness, what sort of does your role encompass?
Yeah, I mean, definitely playing games is part of it, right? But there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot of boring stuff that I guess goes on behind the scenes in terms of just trying to make it easier for independent developers to come to Xbox. Everything we do is centered around trying to empower independent developers to make the games that they want to build and ultimately reach a multi-platform audience through Xbox. So we're always looking at ways that we can make it easier for developers to find new players on console, PC, and cloud. So like all of the endpoints and devices that make up the Xbox ecosystem today. And yeah, part of that involves like looking at games early, trying to understand like what games are a great fit for some of the different initiatives that we've got. I'm here at DICE, so the conference in Vegas this week, so hanging out with some developers. So great opportunity to meet some of the existing partners that are on the program, looking at some of the games that they've got coming to Xbox, where maybe we might dive a little bit deeper in their go-to-market plans and give some feedback and look at ways that we can really partner together on all of their different marketing activities and the ways that they want to bring games to Xbox. As well as meeting like new studios that haven't shipped games on Xbox yet, and finding ways that we can help them bring those games to Xbox, so our Xbox fans can experience those games in the future too.
So by helping them out, I'm guessing that means in some cases funding. Is it in some cases maybe providing dev kits? Like, kind of, can you give a top level idea of sort of what that means when you're trying to help developers get games to market?
Yeah, so there's a whole host of things that we do, right? So getting access to dev kits, SDKs, technology, all the resources that studios need to build games is one part of it. And any developer that signs up for the ID at Xbox program, where we have more than more than 5,000 studios worldwide at the moment. They get access to like all the same level of like technology and kits that like any other studio worldwide does. We then provide a ton of resources and different teams to help studios go through the process of what's required to ship a game on Xbox. And we connect them with different experts as well, either through, like one-to-one meetings where we're looking at the plans that studios have got for their games, or through different events tailored to help developers on different areas of like working with Xbox. So like the Xbox store team will do kind of more like store focused events where we'll go over like KPIs and best practices and all like the tips and tricks that like help you do like pre-orders and wish lists and like when to do trials, how to promote your game so you can like once the game's launched have like really sustained like commercial success on the platform, through to events that are more like technical focused as well in terms of like how to build a game for the Xbox ecosystem today and take advantage of some of those tools that are available that make the experience for players across console, PC and cloud really seamless, like cross-save, cross-progression and all these kind of things. So there's a whole host of things that we do in terms of like educating developers, giving them access to technology. And then we work really closely with some of the other programs at Xbox, like Xbox Game Pass. So there's a bunch of games today where they've got a partnership with us to bring their game to Game Pass. So there's like a funding element that's included there. And then we have some funding programs within the ID Xbox team itself, like our developer acceleration program, where we're already supporting over 150 underrepresented creators that are getting either like port funding or prototype funding to kind of bring those ideas to the Xbox audience.
Sorry, skacok, csak közbe jött valami, aztán ezt próbálom intézni. Nekem minden napra jut valami fasság, komolyan.
So, yeah, there's just a huge amount of ways that we work with studios to make coming to Xbox easier.
It sounds like no 2 days are the same for you.
It's a fair thing to say. Yep.
I mean, I want to kind of ask something as well that I've been curious as I've gone to a lot of ID at Xbox events. I think GDC last year, I talked with the developers of Dungeons of Hinterberg, which was pretty big for ID at Xbox, and that showcase had so many different games from around the world, developers from around the world, and you get to support developers who might not have access to the same resources. I'm like connected to the Southeast Asian game development scene as well, and so I kind of understand the struggles that other regions have with gaining access outside of something like PC, itch.io, or Steam. So is there anything you could share in terms of how you approach finding developers to help support throughout the world? Because I've seen ID at Xbox do it, so I imagine that is something that you're constantly working on as well.
Yeah, so we have a global team of ID at Xbox people that are like out there working with studios. Like you mentioned, like Southeast Asia, there is a region that you're connected with. Like that's a really big focus area for us. Xbox has like a dedicated team out there with people in Thailand and Singapore, South Korea, working with studios in that region. And we just had the new DLC for Lies of P from NeoWitz, that are South Korean team.
Yep.
So we've got, some areas where we have really dedicated support, but a really like global team as well, making sure that we try and get good representation. And on our Indie Selects program, so like some of the Dash coverage that we do monthly to celebrate indie games on Xbox, there's a whole South Korean creator like channel which is live on the store at the moment. So again, it's not just about finding games in that in those types of regions, but the efforts really carry through like end to end at Xbox. So you're seeing like our marketing and our store teams like really leaning into the work that we're doing to discover more great games from those regions too.
And I have to imagine that the smallest dev teams you work with are one person. I imagine a lot of ID at Xbox creators are one person projects. But like how far does it go the other way? Like what's the largest teams that you work with?
It's pretty varied, right? So we definitely have studios which can be as small as one person. And then we get up to some of the world's like biggest independent developers that are in the regions of having like hundreds of people making games for them at the same time, right? And I think even if we look at the showcase today, like there's a great variety of content and different ways that there's studios that have worked with us before that are self-publishing. There's new studios. There's some of like
That was Tanuki Pond Summer Descender.
Forgot to. Perhaps some.
The head of ID at Xbox. And believe it or not, the ID at Xbox showcase is long. And we'll have new looks at things like Mythic Quest, Daredevil Born Again, the exciting reveal of Lies of P Overture from the brilliantly talented team at NeoWiz. That just about wraps us up here at the 2025 ID at Xbox showcase here on IGN. And it was a blast.
Yeah, but wait, if you want even more
Jó,
fun
ez
for
vége.
Xbox
Okay.
fans,
Jó, hölgyek, urak.
stick around, because Unlocked is our...
Kicsit lelépek, mert történt egy dolog, amit most meg kell oldanom, jó?